happening, guys? Chris, VA Travels, up here at Leesylvania State Park, right off the Potomac. I'm in Prince William County, and I'm right in between the Nebsco and Powell's Creek, right in between Dumfries and Woodbridge, about 14 miles downstream from Mount Vernon. And I'm going to visit Leesylvania Plantation and the Fairfax House, ancestral homes to the Lee and Fairfax families. And yeah, go check it out. Just so you know, it's $10 to park. Northern Virginia Sailing School. A couple little sailboats over there. Pretty cool. Yeah, lots of osprey flying around. Down here at the boat launch on the way to the trail, and a little right up here about the War of 1812. And of course the Chesapeake Bay played a vital role. And you can pause, read some information, but it looks like we set up 2 batteries along the Potomac here to attack the British as they fled Alexandria. And there was the White House gun battery and Indian Head, Maryland, which is right across the river. And here we are, Leesylvania State Park. Check it out. Old drawing of the White House gun battery, how it might have looked in 1814. Cool. Okay, so there's a big public beach over here. A lot of people out this early, and especially on a gloomy day. And some people in the water over here. And it looks like it gets pretty deep pretty quick. Yeah, alright, so I just thought I'd show this off for anybody who was thinking about visiting the park. Okay, yeah, on to the trail. Okay, still looking for the trailhead. To let you know, there are 2 parking lots. You'll want to park on the one that is kind of more upriver, I guess, to the left when you come in. I parked in the southern parking lot. Yeah, random gun here. There's no write-up, but boy, this is a bustling little area. And I've walked probably close to a mile, but I finally found the trailhead to the Lee's Woods Historic Trail right there. And I saw this obelisk over here. Holly trees were planted in memory of Don and Christine Curtis. Let me see if there's anything written on this. Oh, there is. Okay, Henry Lee III, Light Horse Harry Lee. That's the father of Robert E. Lee. He was a cavalry commander, yeah, during the American Revolution. He was a Virginia governor. I guess you can read his accolades. Member of Congress. And yeah, he was born in the mansion that we're gonna see the ruins of down the trail. Guy just stopped by and asked if I was related to Henry Lee. But the Lees were a big, prominent Virginia First family. Let's see, you've got Richard Henry Lee. Wrote the Leeds resolutions, which led to the Declaration of Independence, which he signed. You've also got Francis Lightfoot Lee, also, yeah, signed the Declaration of Independence. Lived over at Minokan in the Northern Neck. I've made a video on that. And they were both born at Stratford Hall, as well as Robert E. Lee. Yeah, here we are, finally, like I say. And here's the trail. Let me read this little write-up. This neck here used to be called Freestone Point. And yeah, there was a rebel battery here. And 4 individual gun batteries were set up here. And over here, the U.S. steamer Wyandank was dismounted to remove the battery guns. Oh yeah, so yeah, after the Battle of First Manassas, Confederates pushed the Union soldiers back, pushed them back to the Potomac, where they set up a bunch of batteries just to kind of blockade D.C. And yeah, as I say, this was the northernmost. And this was a smaller battery, and it was built to kind of distract from the larger. I think the largest was down at Quantico. Yeah, there it is again. Yeah, Fairfax home, Lee home, and the cemetery up there. It's about a 2-mile hike. Yeah, so the battery stood from about October of '61 until March of '62. Okay, so coming up on an old chimney, it looks like, first thing. Let me see what this says. little platform here, so and you see the hole up there. They had a stove attached to it, so it's not real old, but okay. So yeah, the Freestone Point Hunt Club, 2-story frame structure, was built in the mid 1920s. All right, stood until 1950s. Okay. All right, so we've got the chimney. I don't know where the other chimney's fallen, obviously, but okay. All right, so yeah, you can tell that was 20th century just by the way the fireplace is built. And pause and read. Okay, so they've got a picture of it. 1985, all dilapidated, about to fall down. It was eventually demolished, and there's some members right there, and they've got some, I don't know if these are turkeys, but they've got some game in hand. Oh, this is a sink box. Interesting. And he's kind of in a little boat that's surrounded by a platform, and looks like those ducks are sitting ducks. See some old growth trees back there, but a lot of afterbrush all around. Looks like this tree's starting to die. They say once the bark goes, the thing's a goner. Okay, following the red blaze. And yeah, I was smart. It's not sunny, but I lathered up suntan lotion. You still have that invisible sun. Also make sure to soak myself in some bug spray. Okay, so it says keep off the earthworks. I was gonna say, so this must be one of the 4 batteries. And of course you see a gun over there. All right, let me see what this has to say. Down here, little drawing of the Seminole, and you'll see the cannon splashing into the water, and you'll see across the river the American flag, Maryland. And over here, an artist rendering of the battery. And I think it's going to be that right there. And we're, yeah, 90-foot cliff overlooking the river. Yeah, it's pretty broad, this high up. Yeah, so the Confederates had 2, they didn't have much. They had 2 6-pounders, and they had 1 30-pounder known as Long Tom. Yeah, so at 10 o'clock in the morning, on that September day, Union ships fired off 10 guns, and then after they fired the 11th, the Confederates fired back. Nobody ended up being injured. Oh wow, okay. Cool. Well, I'm not gonna walk that trail. I'm one to follow the rules, but yeah, 90-foot overlook. Okay, better look at these earthworks, and you see they would have had a gun down there. I bet you the 30-pounder probably would have fit right down in there. They called these lunettes, old French word. Okay, keep on going. Okay, tulip poplar right here. You know, always have to point out the trees. That thing's been there for a while. Wrapping around the backside, and they've got a pawpaw tree over here. You see the fruit hanging off of it? Yeah, so talk about a great position. And that tree looks pretty old, but obviously it couldn't have been there at the time of the engagement. That tree to the right looks pretty big as well, but yeah, so, oh, here we are, backside of the canyon. Oh wait, this says it's a 32-pounder. I'm sorry, I should have known it wasn't a 6-pounder. Look at the breech back there. Oh. Let me see what this says on the back. Number 295, something, something. Well, anyway, yeah, so it's not original, but yeah, like I say, they were set up here for 6 months. Yeah, I'm lucky to have caught kind of a cool overcast day, but it is humid as could be out here. All right, so we might be going downhill up here. Okay, so there's a little stop off over here. Oh, just a couple benches it looks like. And let me just walk down one of these real quick. Watch out for the 3 leaves. Okay. All right. I walked off one of these side trails, and as I said, it's a 90-foot drop down there. And it would be great to come out here during the winter once all these leaves have fallen. Yeah, great view. Came to kind of a fire road, high ground up here, so I'm wondering if there might be something up here to look at. I knew it. They probably could have a better marking down there, but I figured high ground might be a house up here. But the ruins of the Fairfax house, built in 1825, and first off, you see a fireplace for the second floor. Pretty neat. Kind of probably just old brick and stone down there. Kind of grown over. Yeah, I see it looks like it might have been a stone foundation. And I see a plaque over there. I'll walk around and get a closer look. Oh, here it is. Here's an artist's rendering and a clapboard house. No wonder it burned. But yeah, stone foundation. Yeah, great spot, great view overlooking the river. There's the chimney, barn to the left. And it looks like this road, this is the original trace right here. Pretty cool. I'll walk over and see if I see any remnants of that barn. But again, 1825, Captain Henry Fairfax purchased this 2,000-acre property from Alfred Lee. Alfred Lee was the grandson of Henry Lee from the Lee House, which is about 500 yards away. And the house was assessed at $16,000 in 1849. Included 24 slaves that were willed to his children, Martha and John. John ended up inheriting the house. He and his wife, Mary Jane Rogers, they ended up moving to Oak Hill in Loudoun County. I believe that still stands. I think it's a private residence now. But he ended up joining General Longstreet's staff during the war. And in 1877, shortly after his wife's passing, he returned to rebuild the house. Lived here until his death in 1908. And it burned down shortly after that. And I saw this over here. Something used to be down there. Okay, so this was a barn, the barn foundation from 1835. All right, so there's a barn. I'm sure there are a bunch of outhouses. I see some stone over there. I'm sure it was on a stone foundation. Probably came from the river. Yeah, it almost looks like a carriage step up, but it's kind of small. And heights over here. Okay, So yeah, we're in the middle of the woods right now, but at the time this was a bustling area, all kinds of activity. Okay, let me just walk around the ruins, and then I'll see if there are any more outbuildings or maybe some of that barn over there. Oh, so back here would have been a water well. And yeah, you see all this brush right here. Oh, that's just a fallen tree right there with some brush all wrapped around. You hear the train. Okay. Yeah, judging by the bricks, it doesn't appear to be that old. Yeah. Some of the foundation over here. It says stay off the ruins, so I'll make sure to stay on the outside. And you'll see the where the roof was up there. And yeah, so the parlors would have been here on the first floor, and obviously the basement down there. Yeah, pretty neat. So I thought it would be a little bit bigger. Oh, there's a little bluebird right there hanging on that branch. Check it out, there's another indentation over here, and I see the foundation. This must be the barn. So they had the barn right up on the house. So when the house burned, I'm sure the barn burned. But yeah, I won't step on the ruins, but walk over here. Kind of don't want to walk too far into this brush. I'm not sure there's too much back here, but just hopped online and found out there was a 2-story veranda on the front of the house. And how great would it be to be sitting underneath that thing, looking out at the river? And it sounds like this had the basic 4/4 floor plan. You had the big central passage going down through the middle, a couple parlors on the first floor, bedrooms up above. And there was a privy out here that held 8 seats. So it must have had a pretty big family. Found some strawberries over here. Might be raspberries, kind of hard to tell. But there's a bunch of them. All right. Yeah. Side trail breaking off. Probably goes down to the river. I'm not going to take it. Lots of giant tulip poplars around here. All right, so yeah, we've got a sign after about 3 turnoffs, of which I went the wrong way each time. But yeah, so the house in the cemetery up ahead. Yeah, some more big tulip poplars up here. Cool. So the fire road dissolved into a trail, and yeah, we're headed uphill. I was about to say, I know there's going to be something up here, and I see a plaque. I think I see a picture of Henry Lee right here. I don't think there's going to be much in the way of ruins, but let me read this thing and see what's going on. Yeah, check it out. Another rendering of what the plantation would have looked like. And can you imagine this entire neck look like this? And there he is, Henry Lee II, and George, his neighbor. Like I say, just lived about 14 miles away. And I'll tell you a funny side note. His wife, Henry Lee's wife, was Lucy Grimes. And apparently she was really nice looking. She was known as the Lowlands Beauty. And George Washington tried to court her, and she turned him down. You can tell Henry's kind of a better looking guy, I guess. Just to give some information, Leesylvania means, of course, Lee's Woods. Pennsylvania, William Penn's Woods. Spotsylvania, Alexander Spotswood's Woods. And this thing was built most likely 1750 and probably looked like Ripon Lodge. Not too far from here. I made a video on that. And another clapboard house. Surprising, but they don't know for sure. And it burned down around 1790. And Henry Lee, he died 1787. Ran a fishery out of here. Right here you see this little indentation, and it says there might be some daffodils, some flowers. Those bulbs last forever, we might spot. But yeah, I was hoping there would be kind of a stone foundation, maybe a chimney, but yeah, not to be. Let me walk, see what's over here. While I walk over, just to give you some information on this neck. It was first patented 1651. Some of the dates, roughly 1651, by a guy named Jarvis Davis. Shortly after that, it was purchased by Henry Corbin. A lot of Henrys. The Corbins were another big first family here in Virginia. And so then it was passed on to his daughter named Letita. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And she ended up marrying Richard Lee II. Yeah, Richard Lee II gave birth to Henry I, who of course gave birth to Henry II, the one who built the house. And the Lees, they acquired this house way back when, but they owned it for about 70 plus years, but didn't actually live here. So yeah, Henry Lee finally moved onto the property around 1747. It says 1750 he built the he built the house. Looks like in the 50s there was a road built down here that cut right through this ridge, and not knowing, they cut it right through where the house was. Yeah, so all that's left is the corner of the foundation, and over here the sign says exposed foundation walls. Yeah, I'm so tempted to walk over there, but that's some pretty thick, nasty brush down this hill. I'm usually game for doing something like that, but I just have shorts on. I need to remember to bring these my hiking pants. Down here it says unlawful to remove brick stone artifacts. So yeah, part of the foundation right there up against that kind of little ridge, that cliff. And down this way should be the cemetery. Okay, so I've been descending for about a quarter of a mile, and over here we've got escaped gardens. Over 200 years ago, the Lee family garden contained the ancestors of many of the plants that now grow here wild. Alright, I'm going to break off the main trail, and I see another sign over here. But American beech. Small nuts were eaten whole, ground into flour, pressed for their oil, or roasted to make coffee. All right, beech coffee. Another little sign here. And I'm looking for some plants that, this is the end of the line on this little trail, but it looks like there's a little cut through right here, and this is a white oak. A baby white oak, and the wood of these was used to make barrels for wine and other liquids. Let me bust through here. Cemetery shouldn't be too far away. There's actually another little I don't know if this connects back with the other trail or not. A flowering dogwood. The wood is extremely hard and used to make tool handles and mill and something mallet heads. All right, boy, I've got myself in the thick of it. Definitely off the beaten path. And okay, trail's right here actually. So according to the map, the cemetery, I'm thinking, might be right up on this hill. Here we go. Yeah, it's up on this hill, the Lee-Fairfax Cemetery. Wrought iron fence surrounding it. Okay, definitely overgrown. I don't see any tombstones in there. I can tell you right offhand, I had read that the Fairfax family tombstones were moved to Loudoun County 1969, so fairly recently. All right, let me you see what this has to say. So, yeah, the headstone then of Elizabeth Fairfax. She died 1792, and then Henry Fairfax Sr., the builder of the house, he died 1774. And this cemetery was built after the passing of Henry Lee II. I know a lot of Henrys. And actually, Henry and his wife Lucy are the only two Lees that were actually buried here. Their headstones are long gone. And look, there's a big tree in the corner there that's been there forever. Yeah, their headstones are long gone. And the Society of the Lees placed some bronze plaques, I guess, under that brush where the graves are. You'll probably never find them now. And then, as I said, their Fairfaxes, their headstones were moved to Loudoun County. And some more information over here. I don't know where this, I don't remember this trail being on the map. But let me see what this says. All right, just kind of right up on some of the same information I looked at. Just talking about it's the burial site of Henry and Lucy. All right. And looks like this trail is gonna wrap around and take us back. Wow, he's letting me walk right by. That's crazy. Pretty cool. And I saw a deer right by the Fairfax house. Oh, something I forgot to mention when I passed by the first time, that this house, the Fairfax house, was built on top of the Freestone house. And the Freestone house predates the Lee house. So you're talking early 1700s. And while I get out of here, I'll give you some information on the Lee family here in Virginia. I just finished an audiobook called Clouds of Glory about Robert E. Lee. So I've got all this stuff fresh in my head. And the first Lee to arrive to the Virginia colony, that would be Richard Lee I, also known as Richard the Immigrant. That was in 1639. And he gave birth to Richard Lee II. Richard Lee II is the one who had married Letita, the daughter of Henry Corbin, the one who had acquired this land. So yeah, this land eventually, like I had said, fell into Richard Lee II's hands. Richard Lee II gave birth to Henry Lee I. He gave birth to Henry Lee II. And Henry Lee II is, there's a spider web right here. Henry Lee II is the Lee that moved back to this property and actually built the house. And he gave birth to many prominent founding fathers, most notably Henry Lighthorse Harry Lee, cavalry general during the American Revolution, also Virginia governor. There was Edmund Lee. He became mayor of Alexandria. There was Charles Bland Lee. He pushed to have the U.S. Capitol moved here to Washington, D.C., and was also the first congressman of Northern Virginia. And then you've got a Charles Lee. I almost forgot about him. And he was a personal attorney to George Washington and also U.S. Attorney General. So, yeah, a lot of prominent founding fathers. And then after that, Henry Lighthorse Harry Lee, who I just mentioned, he was the father of Robert E. Lee. All right, hitting the road. If you want to help me get out to more of these places, you can support me on Patreon. You can also follow me on Instagram. And as always, like and subscribe. See you guys.